Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are fine. I am Mamoni Das, a trainee teacher from Kalna College, B.Ed section. Today, I am going to present a multimedia e-content on an English prose to explain the lesson in a simple and attractive way. Today, our lesson is Uncle Podger hangs a picture. Before reading the text, let me ask you one question. Have you ever tried to do some work at home, like fixing a picture, repairing a chair, or arranging your room? Did everything go smoothly? Sometimes a very simple work becomes difficult because of confusion. Today's story is exactly about such a funny situation. Now, let us know about the author. The lesson is written by Jerome Klapka Jerome. He was an English writer and humorist. He was born on 2nd May 1859 and died on 14th June 1927. He became famous for his humorous book Three Men in a Boat. Our lesson, Uncle Podger Hangs a Picture, is taken from this famous book. His writings are full of humor, warmth, and simple everyday experiences. His aim was to entertain readers and make them smile. Now, let's understand the story. Uncle Podger loves doing everything by himself. One day, he decides to hang a picture on the wall. Although hanging a picture is a simple task, Uncle Podger creates complete confusion. Everyone in the family becomes busy because of his unnecessary instructions. This makes the story very funny. So, the main character is Uncle Podger. He is very confident. Sometimes he is overconfident. He believes he can do everything without help. But instead of solving problems, he creates more confusion. This humorous nature makes him an unforgettable character. Now, let's read the text. You never saw such a commotion up and down a house in all your life as when my Uncle Podger undertook to do a job. A picture would have come home from the frame makers and be standing in the dining room, waiting to be put up. Aunt Podger would ask what was to be done with it, and Uncle Podger would say, "Oh, you leave that to me. Don't you, any of you, worry yourselves about that. I will do all that." And then he would take off his coat and begin. He would send the girl out for 6 penn'orth of nails and then one of the boys after her to tell her what size to get. So, the first line is You never saw such a commotion up and down a house in all your life as when my Uncle Podger undertook to do a job. Let's learn two new words. First one is commotion. Commotion means a noisy state of confusion or disorder. And the second word is undertook. Undertook means began to do a task. Okay. So let us understand it. The narrator says that whenever Uncle Podger started any work, the whole house became noisy and confused. Everyone became busy because of one simple job. Now, let's read the second sentence. A picture would have come home from the frame makers and be standing in the dining room waiting to be put up. Frame makers. Who are the frame makers? Frame makers are people who make picture frames. And dining room, a room where family members eat meals. Put up, put up means to hang something on the wall. Okay. So, a new framed picture had arrived from the frame maker. It was kept in the dining room and now it had to be hung on the wall. Now, read the third sentence. Aunt Podger would ask what was to be done with it, and Uncle Podger would say, "Oh, you leave that to me. Don't worry, I will do all that." What does this tell us? Uncle Podger is very confident. He tells everyone not to worry because he believes he can do everything himself. But later, his overconfidence creates problems. This is the main source of humor in the story. Okay, now let's read the last sentence. And then he would take off his coat and begin. He would send the girl out for 6 pennorth of nails and then one of the boys after her to tell her what size to get. Here, take off. Take off means remove. Begin. Begin means start. 6 pennorth. It means a small quantity worth 6 pence. And nails, you all know, small metal pins used to fix things. So these lines shows Uncle Podger's behavior. Instead of quietly doing the work, he keeps giving instructions to everyone. He asks one person to buy nails, then sends another person to change the instructions. This creates confusion, and that is why the story becomes humorous. So, we all saw that whenever Uncle Podger decided to do something, the whole house became busy. One day, a picture arrived from the frame makers and was waiting in the dining room to be hung on the wall. When Aunt Podger asked who would put it up, Uncle Podger said he would do it himself and that no one else needed to worry. Then he took off his coat and started preparing for the work. He sent the girl to buy some nails and asked one of the boys to go with her and tell her the right size to get. Now, students, before we finish today's lesson, let us learn a small grammar topic related to the story. Today's grammar topic is prepositions. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word. It tells us where, when, or in which direction something happens. Let's see some examples. So, number one is place. Here we can see three common prepositions of place: in, on, and under. Look at the first picture. The teddy bear is in the box. We use in when something is inside another object. Okay. Now look at the second picture. The flower vase is on the table. We use on when something is touching the surface of another object. And next, look at the third picture. The cat is under the chair. We use under when something is below another object. So, in means inside, on means on the surface, and under means below. Okay, now let's move to the next section, time. Here we learn the prepositions at, on, and in for time. The first picture shows a clock. We use at for an exact time, such as at 8 o'clock or at 10 a.m. The second picture shows a calendar with Monday. We use on with days and dates. For example, on Monday or on Sunday. The third picture shows the month of June. We use in with months, years, seasons, and longer periods of time, such as in June, in 2026 or in winter? Now let's move to the third section. Direction. These prepositions tell us about movement. The first picture shows a boy going to a house. We use to when someone moves towards a place. The second picture shows a girl going into a room. We use into when someone enters inside a place. Okay. The third picture shows a boy coming from a house. We use from to show the starting point of movement. And the last picture shows a child walking across a bridge. We use across when someone moves from one side to the other. Now, let's come to the next activity. Find the prepositions. Read the first sentence. The picture is in the dining room. Which word is the preposition? Yes, the answer is in. Now read the second sentence. Uncle Podger stood on the chair. The preposition is on. Now read the third sentence. The girl ran to the market. And the preposition is to. Very good. Now look at the middle box. Remember this trick? Remember these three simple rules. In means inside, on means touching the top or surface, at means an exact place or exact time. If you remember these rules, using prepositions becomes much easier. Now let's try the quick challenge. Fill in the blanks with the correct prepositions. The hammer is on the table. The second one is the picture hangs on the wall. The right answer is on. Good. And the third one, the boy ran after the girl. Excellent. All the answers are given below and you can check whether your answers are correct. Finally, remember the sentence at the bottom of the chart. A preposition tells us where, when, or how someone or something is related. So, today we learned the definition of prepositions and the three main types: prepositions of place, time, and direction. Let's quickly revise what we learned today. Today we learned about the author, the story of Uncle Podger hangs a picture, the main character Uncle Podger, several new vocabulary words, and the meanings of difficult expressions, and the use of prepositions such as in, on, at, to, from, and after. We also practiced reading, vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension. The main message of today's lesson is we should never be overconfident. Good planning and teamwork help us complete any task successfully. Now it's time to check your understanding. Please read each question carefully and choose the correct answer. That brings us to the end of today's multimedia e-content lesson. I hope you enjoyed the class and understood the story as well as the grammar topic. Thank you for your active participation and cooperation. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.